Hi friends! Today we're doing a kind of one of the videos that I've wanted to do for a long time, not just like a life update or an update about my wrist. This looks really awkward with the sun, sorry. Gypsy Rose Blanchard. If you know anything about me, I am a psych major and I am all about trials, cases like that. I want to get into their brain. I want to know why they did what they did. I want to know where it came from. And this case, I have been fascinated with for years, like since the trial happened. I'm not just one of those bandwagon people who just found out about this case. Like, I've been studying this case for almost a decade. And it's crazy to me. There are actually a couple different aspects that are kind of like mindfuck to me. Like, what happened here? How did this go about? So I'm going to dive into it a little bit. I want to kind of try, I am very scatterbrained, but I'm going to try to stick with 3 different sections. I want to talk about Dee Dee, her mom. I want to talk about Gypsy, and then I also want to talk about Nick Godejohn, the actual killer. Can I say that on YouTube? So if you don't know about this case, Gypsy Rose Blanchard was a daughter of a single mom, Dee Dee Blanchard. Her mom had a disease called Munchausen's by proxy, which is where how do I explain it? You want to keep someone around you, so you are forcing these diseases on them or making it appear that these people have whatever diseases, or giving them pills, which happened in this case, to make these people have specific diseases, and tricking doctors to get all these medicines, procedures, all for personal gain, whether that be just the attention or financial, which a lot of what I believe of this was a financial gain. But I also do believe she was scared to lose Gypsy as her daughter. So I'm not quoting anything. I'm not putting any like fancy things on the screen. This is just like a raw video. I'm driving. I wanted to talk about this case. So don't get mad at me if I misquote something, or don't put in my factual evidence. This is all based on the research that I have done on this case for many years, and things that have come out in documentaries with Gypsy Rose and all of that fun stuff. So as far as I believe, and my understanding is that Dee Dee had been assaulted in the sexual form by her father when she was growing up. She had a very toxic relationship with her mother. There are even rumors out here, and of course this is just an accusation, that she offed her mother. I don't remember. Now, one of my researches I am not going to include is the Hulu show The Act. It is a great show, but it's not all factual. Gypsy Rose has come out saying that they didn't have any say in the production. They weren't involved in any of it. As far as I know, I don't know if she's even watched it. But they have said that they were not part of that. So I'm not using that as any fact, just so everyone knows. There is those rumors that Dee Dee had either given pills or suffocated. There's a few different rumors of how she offed her mother. If those are true, I don't know, because we don't have Dee Dee alive to ask her. And there's no like factual proof. She was never like charged with anything. So that's all hearsay. That's all an allegation. But she clearly had a lot of trauma growing up. with abuse. But I don't know. I hope none of these words get triggered and I get taken down, because I'm still learning what YouTube allows and what they don't allow. So Dee Dee had grown up with a troubled past, I guess. She married her husband, gosh, I'm blanking on his name right now. Gypsy's dad. Shoot. Okay, I don't remember it. I'll put it in the comments if I remember it. I'm just blanking on it at the moment. They had gotten married very young, had Gypsy at a young age. He wanted to be involved, and he was for a short amount. But then I want to say somewhere around like 5-ish, maybe give or take a couple years, Gypsy's dad left and left Dee Dee to be a single mom. At a very young age, Gypsy had experienced a lot of accidents, I guess. She had gotten in a motorcycle accident with, I think her uncle or someone, and scraped her knee, and then they went to the doctor, and then all of a sudden she has to be in a wheelchair. So it's a lot of things like that that is how Munchausen's becomes a thing. Obviously there's something wired in your brain that is different, that makes it okay to do this to a child and just say, oh, well, you have to be in a wheelchair now for the rest of your life. Or she got her salvia glands taken out, and just so many crazy things that she was trying to do to get attention from other people. They had gotten a free house from Humane Society, something like that. They had profited a lot off of these different diseases and surgeries. So that was kind of Dee Dee's story and her partake in all of this. Answer to, I actually just watched Sloane's video. Shout out to Sloane. I'm in love with you. You kind of inspired my YouTube ideas. Obviously, I'm nowhere near as cool as you are. But I was just watching, sorry, fangirling over here. I was just watching his video on Gypsy, and he had asked a really great question, which is, how did the doctors let her get away with this? This is a great question. This is a question that I've actually seen on her Instagram a lot, of like, how did the doctors not catch this? You doctor hop. And that's such an easy, simple answer. Of course, you go to different doctors. But Dee Dee had faked medical records. I mean, honestly, if you go into a doctor and say, I have a headache, they're going to either give you pills to help that headache, or they're going to dive into what the more serious solution could be. And this comes a lot with, they trusted the mom, they trusted Dee Dee to accurately say what Gypsy's symptoms were. They trusted mom when she came in and said, you know, she's drooling a lot and she can't keep the saliva in her mouth and she's choking on it because she has so much saliva in her mouth. So they took out her salivary glands. Now, whether that was put forth by pills to make her drool or whatever, that's a lot of how Munchausen's by proxy works, is they can give you a pill that makes you do specific things that cause other symptoms, that then you can go to the doctor and say, I don't know what caused this. This is crazy. She's not on any other medication, but all of a sudden this is a new symptom. And doctors, to a fault, sometimes will believe what a parent is saying. I think now they have gotten a little more eye-opening to this, and now they are more aware of doctor records and all of that kind of stuff. Dee Dee also did claim that all of her medical records were lost at one point. I believe it was because of Hurricane Katrina. And so all the records were lost. She had to write down everything she remembered, and you can false that. If you're just writing down something, you can say, oh yeah, and she, has leukemia, but she never did, and she was never diagnosed, but it's in medical records that they don't have access to. It wasn't all digital at the time, and made it super easy. I'm sure there were some doctors that did catch on, and that's why they did doctor hop so much. Again, that's very common with Munchausen's by proxy, that you doctor hop a lot so that you can't catch on to all of the false symptoms and accusations, and doctors don't necessarily check what the last doctor did before they dive into that specific thing. So thanks, Sloan, for giving me that idea as well to talk about, because that is such a fascinating thing, and it is such a common thing that, like, how do you even get away with something like that? And it's not easy, but there are ways, and that's how Munchausen's by proxy is still a thing, sadly. I read somewhere that this was the only case that someone has ever murdered someone, because don't get mad at me for using that word. Sorry, I keep forgetting. I don't know how many times I've actually used it. They've offed someone because of it. Okay, so now moving on to Gypsy. So she grew up thinking and believing that her mom had her best interest, just like everyone does. My mom would never hurt me. My mom would never do something that would put me in this position. No one thinks about that, especially when you're that young. So Gypsy was lied to about her age. She believed that she was still a minor when she was an adult. Her mom had told her that she had the mental age of a very young child, and that she was to act like that, basically. Again, this is a don't quote me, because I don't remember how old she was when all of this stuff happened. I believe she was around 21 or 22, somewhere around that age. In 2011. Okay, don't quote me on the facts. I'm just blanking on everything because I'm making a video. So at one point she had met Nick online on a dating website, Christian dating website. He is severely autistic, and I don't know if it's ever been diagnosed, but I believe that he also has DID, which is dissociative identity disorder, which used to be known as multiple personality disorder. So I believe, again, I don't know if it was ever diagnosed, but I believe he had some of that. But they met, had this online romance, and it was very different to her because she had never been allowed to be open to someone. She had never been allowed to be sexually open with anyone. And so it was her first love. It was her first romance. I think we've all been there, where everything's new, everything's fascinating, you're all in. I mean, I believe that had nothing to do with her trauma or being a victim. I believe that was just pure romance and first love. And so she met him. They talked for, I believe, a couple years. And she was very open about what her mom was doing to her. And so she also has a book and a new documentary coming out, I believe, this week and next week, about her, like, there's confessions from her prison cell, all that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure if she'll give any new details. That'll be a very interesting thing to learn. Beep, beep, beep. Okay, I'm going to pause this. We'll see if this works. I'm going to pause it and go to the bathroom really quick because I have to pee. I'm on my way home. Okay. I'm back. You probably didn't even know I was gone because I just paused it and restarted it. So, ow. Sorry, it's still hard to click the seatbelt in with my hand. So, where'd I leave off? That would have been a smart thing to remember is where I left off. Okay, well, we will, okay, I kind of remember. Hopefully this is the right spot. So, Gypsy, after she met Nick, they began to talk about what her mom was doing to her and all of this stuff. It's believed that Nick had a very dark side of him, and he did this act because he loved her, and it's not really clear if, for me, because I haven't read like the exact court documents of what evidence was presented, but it is not super clear that she was like, hey, go do this. I believe she wanted it to happen at the moment, maybe not now, but I do believe that they were both involved in the planning of it, because they did have a very good plan. Not good, but it was very planned out. It wasn't like a spur of the moment thing. There were bus tickets bought. There was a sorry, I'm also trying to think of ways that I can say this without getting my video shut down. What you cut your steak with, bought. There was many details that happened that make it seem like they were both fully aware of what was going to happen that night. So Gypsy was eventually charged with a 10-year sentence, and she just got out after 8 or 8.5 on like her sentence. So she didn't fully finish her sentence, but she served most of it. Okay, so moving on to Nick. Nick was an autistic kid. Met this girl online. Fell in love with her. Again, I don't believe that there was any ill intent at the beginning other than I really am in love with this girl. I do believe that was his side. Again, because of the autism, there might have been some not fully understanding of what he was doing, but he did admit it and said that he was involved and he did the act. He said that he did it only because he loved her and he wanted to save her. He was not innocent before this. There's been some interesting comments I've seen online, like a lot of people are mad that Gypsy's out and he isn't, but they do have completely different sentences, and as involved as she was, she did not do the actual act, so that is why their cases are different. And he had been arrested before. It was not a violent charge, but he was arrested before, and I think that's the thing that a lot of people either don't know or don't understand. He had some very interesting sexual types or fantasies, I guess you can call them. When he was arrested for being at a McDonald's with his laptop watching, we'll say, OnlyFans, even though OnlyFans wasn't a thing. So PORN, for something like 8 or 9 hours and doing an act to these videos. And so that's what he was arrested for in the McDonald's. I don't remember if he was sentenced to anything or if it was just like a, that's gross, don't do that, slap on the wrist. But there were things that he said that he wanted to R-word Dee Dee after the act, but Gypsy agreed to let him do it to her instead. So there were our fantasies, which I guess Gypsy was a consenting part, so it's not technically R-word, but there was that fantasy of it wanting to be R-worded. So there was, some of that included with him. I don't know much about his family life or his past growing up. That's something that I never actually dug into a ton. Before now, it's one thing that I'm starting to get into, but there isn't much on him. People are more fascinated with Gypsy because she was a victim, and they are like, she was a victim, but yeah, of course she offed her mom because she was being abused. We're gonna say that from now on. So moving on from all of that, my kind of opinions of this. And if Gypsy Rose ever sees this, please reach out to me. I would love to have a conversation with you. I'm just a tiny little YouTube channel that has like 50 subscribers. So I highly doubt there is any way that she will ever actually see this. But if she does, that'd be awesome. Cool. Hit me up. I also shout out to another YouTube channel, Without a Crystal Ball. I love her too. She is actually close family friends to, I believe, Christy, who's the stepmom. Ron? Oh gosh. Okay, I just cannot remember her dad's name. Something. I want to say it starts with an R, but I could be totally wrong. So again, just don't quote me. Anyways, so Without a Crystal Ball has been posting a lot of stuff on her Instagram, which is really fascinating, about things that are happening within the family, correcting wrong narratives, which again, if Gypsy Rose or Without a Crystal Ball ever sees these, I would love to sit down and have a conversation, just because I don't know all the facts either. My facts are based off of my research, not Gypsy Rose's story or Nick's story. It's based off of the research that I've read and basically other people's accounts of that account, not the people who were there. I am definitely going to read her book and watch the documentary somehow. I think it comes out on Lifetime, so I'm wondering if it'll be put on Hulu. But I'm definitely going to find a way to watch it, because that's fascinating to me. And those are her words, so that's what I'm really most excited about. So anyways, my opinions of the whole thing. Gypsy was just destroyed her whole childhood. She, at a certain age, understood what was going on. I believe, again, this is all my opinion. I'm sure that at some point she started to understand that this isn't how life is supposed to happen. This isn't what moms are supposed to do. I'm not really that sick. I can get out of my wheelchair. I can eat certain foods. I'm not allergic to them or whatever. So I believe that she didn't know how to get out. And that I'm not I am not excusing what happened at all. Obviously there are other ways to deal with it, but in that moment when she was dealing with it, she didn't have any other families. She was Rod? Maybe it's Rod. That sounds right. But her dad was not in the picture, so she didn't have any other family besides Dee Dee, and her really only friend was Nick, and she didn't know how to deal with it, and so she was in a really hard place, and whether you believe she manipulated Nick or not, that is your opinion. I don't think I believe that. I believe that she didn't feel like she had a way out, and she felt like that was the only way out. As far as I know, she regrets it now. Like, she wished that it wouldn't have happened. But it did, and that's past, and there's nothing that anyone can do about it. But I do believe that Gypsy can make a recovery, and I'm sure she has made a lot of strides to understand what happened to her and understand what her mom had put her through and her victim part of it and her trauma part of it and all of that. And so I'm sure she understands what happened a lot more, and which led to those decisions. I don't believe that she would ever do it again. So I think that's why she got out of jail, because there's not even any chance that she would do it again. So yeah, I think that's where I'm going to stop. It's kind of a long video now. But if this is something that you guys like, me talking about different cases, something I am fascinated with, there's a few other cases that I absolutely love. There's one that I'm reading a book about right now. It's the Skylar Niece case. She was unalived by two of her best friends when they were freshmen in high school. So I think that's going to be my next video, because I'm reading about it and I'm kind of just, again, it's utterly fascinating to hear. And this is, again, this book is just a recount of someone her parents nor the people involved have come out with any books or anything. This was in 2014, I believe, is when they got sentenced. But yeah, so anyways, comment if you guys like these kind of videos. Comment your guys' thoughts. Please no hate. Please no fact corrections, or you can give me fact corrections, but in a nice way, because like I said, this is just a video of me talking about it. I don't have a book in front of me. I don't have my phone in front of me. It's right here, to look any facts up or anything. So be nice on the fact checks. Subscribe if you like these kind of videos, because I'm going to have a whole new section of playlist videos of these coming up pretty soon. So comment, like, subscribe, follow. Follow is not a thing. Subscribe. And let me know what you guys think of this case, because it's very interesting and very hot topic right now. Okay, see you in the next video. Bye.